Before we get started, I just wanted to express my own personal condolences and offer a little bit of my thoughts and my energy to the family, the friends, and the victims of the van accident that claimed a couple of lives and left a lot of other people injured, and involved two bands, Wormreich and Khaotika. I wanted to make sure that I did this before we got into the meat of all of what this video is about, because it's a shame that that isn't the story here. It really is the story, considering that's the reason that everything else occurred. This event is what brought out the worst in a lot of people. However, this is the most important aspect. These individuals who are either fighting for their life or have lost their lives, that's what all of this really should and ought to be about. It's a shame that has no longer sort of become the case, but I am thinking of each and every one of you. I am sorry that this has happened, and my thoughts and my energy is with you. With that being said, many people awoke to this being on their social media feeds, either that or those of you who perhaps were very close to the bands, should I say, and knew any of them personally. You awoke to the news that there was a very bad van accident in Georgia this morning that claimed the lives of a couple of individuals from two heavy metal bands, Wormreich and Khaotika. And there have been many other people that were injured. It was a very horrific looking accident. The photograph is kind of stomach turning a little bit, even though it's wow. And this is something that has spread like wildfire, and it spread like wildfire very quickly as the morning and the early afternoon sort of progressed here on the 6th of April of 2015. And I originally wanted to think that that was because the heavy metal community, we're a very close-knit community. We're one that likes to share this information around whenever it becomes available to us. That way we can let other people know. It's a very communal aspect. It's a very communal, we're a very communal people. As far as music fans are concerned, we really like to keep everybody in the loop and spread it around, because that is what music and that is what heavy metal is all about, is getting it out there and having the other folks really enjoy it. But I learned very quickly after reading the article and looking at the comments underneath of the article, I learned very quickly that wasn't the total and 100% reason why this was happening. The actual reason why this was happening was because of some of the comments that were being said, and really some of the outrageous and downright repugnant things, sentiments that were being offered from some individuals of the Christian community. Now we all know about the South in the United States, but for those of you who are perhaps from out of the country or do not know, it is a very religious part of the United States of America, and America itself is one that right now many people believes is kind of in a very divided whenever it comes to religious thought, and it seems as though those who enjoy religious thought are very much acting as though they're being crusaded against. I don't claim to have a side in this. I don't claim to be anything more than neutral. However, the reason for that is because I can speak from both sides, because I've been on both sides. I was Roman Catholic for a number of years. In fact, the first 2 decades of my life I was Roman Catholic, and ever since then I have treaded a finer line toward realism and toward a lot of other exploration that has involved a transformation of sorts that has been just absolutely wonderful, and it's one that's founded on the idea of mutual respect and really showcasing a lot of love toward the universe and toward all of the creatures and all of the people who inhabit it, even those who perhaps don't fit into your own views of society. Words such as these guys deserved it because of the style of music that they played, because they were against God, because their music is music of the devil. that they deserved this. They deserved this. Now, I understand that tragedies happen every day, and it brings out the real scumbag in a lot of people. A lot of terrible things are said, and a lot of terrible things are then said based around the first terrible thing, and it becomes a logical chain. But nobody deserves something like this. And I think what actually just deteriorates my ability to calm myself and just sort of let it go in these situations are based around who these people claim to be and what they claim to believe in. That's really what grinds my gears the most. If there's one thing I learned from my 2 decades as a Roman Catholic, is the fact that you should love one another as I have loved you. Peace be with you. This is very much really whenever you read through it and you go through the worship and everything, it's supposed to be a religion of peace. And of course, we all know that that has been far from true in recent memory. In fact, by recent memory, I mean the last 1,000 years or so, with elements such as the Crusades and etc., etc. But that's really not the point. The point of the matter is that a lot of people that posted after this have it right. Just because you're a Christian does not give you the right to judge somebody else based around what they do. And even if it is the antithesis of what you yourself personally believe in, it does not give you also the right to feel good about this. This is a horrible accident where individuals, people, human beings, people just like you died. And you're going to rejoice as though they were Adolf Hitler, Saddam Hussein, and Osama bin Laden, which they are not, far from. And really, isn't this the same argument that whenever Saddam Hussein was hung or whatever, and Osama bin Laden was killed, wasn't the argument for one, oh, that's okay, he was a terrorist, and then Osama bin Laden's was, that wasn't right, all based around who was in office and how it went down? Same people. Yeah, I know this. Same fucking people. Here's a situation for you. Here's something that's going to make you just feel all warm and flowery inside. Oh, 3 deacons are cruising down the road. All of a sudden, they drift off and crash right into a tree. That's great. Thank goodness. Glad they're gone. 3 down, 2 billion to go. Doesn't sound very nice, does it? It's not leaving you a very warm sensation on the inside. You probably want me to fucking die right now based around the fact that I said that in jest. Well, guess what? There's turning the other cheek, ladies and gentlemen. There's the cheek being turned. Because do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. I just did unto you what you did unto others. Not so much fun whenever that happens, is it? This is something that happens quite often. Whenever it touches the heavy metal community, of course, it's based around the style of music. It's based around the lyricism, the content, the makeup, the stage shows. A lot of people seem to think that this is as real as it gets, and that it is destroying the world because it is teaching people the ways of evil. Some people are also really, 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 really gullible. Heavy metal is a culture, just like Christianity is a culture, just like Buddhism is a religion and a culture, just like indie is a culture, just like, baking is a culture. It's all culture. Show some respect, and you will be shown respect. Those who commented after this, who stated that that they were Christian and had a great deal of sorrow for these families, and really were extending their prayers and their thoughts to the family and friends of these 2 bands of Wormreich and Khaotika. I want to say bravo to all of you for being model examples as to what Christianity and what the whole entire prospect and idea of religion really should be about. There are many people in this world that have the idea right. I don't want many people to feel as though this is attacking the whole of Christianity or this is attacking the whole on the idea of religion. The problem is that we live in a society where extremism becomes essentially the whole. What I mean by that is that the 1%, or even the 0.5%, even the 0.1%, the ones that are the Looney Tunes that decide to go above and beyond the call of being a prick, those are the ones that become a reflection of everything else based around their bigotry, based around their matter and patterns of thought, based around what they themselves do, say, or support. And we've seen that quite a bit over the past couple of years. Of course, there was the situation with Indiana and the controversial bill that was signed that has certainly brought out a lot of those same sentiments and opinions as well. So I don't want the whole of Christianity to feel as though this is an attack on you. Because it's not. Because many of you get it. Many of you are wonderful people. Awesome to talk to. Very, very thoughtful. Extremely forthright. Very caring. And just wonderful individuals. And a lot of you showed your face and showed your true colors within that status. After some of your brothers and sisters decided that they were going to show their true colors and show really the ugly side that exists in just about any group. The ugly side that really shows their true colors whenever tragedy strikes. Like in the same situation, like if 3 deacons were to die, and I would walk right into that status and say, 3 down, 2 billion to go. It'd be wrong as hell, it would be absolutely disrespectful, and I would never, ever do that. Ladies and gentlemen, a moment of silence, please, for those who have lost their lives within this accident. Ladies and gentlemen, a moment of silence for those who are injured, so that they may make a full and speedy recovery. Offer your thoughts, offer your prayers, offer your energy with arms outstretched. Offer anything that you can to these individuals right now. Because this is almost like they had to deal with tragedy twice. The tragedy of the actual accident and then the tragedy of the aftermath. Because words can hurt just as much as physical pain. So please, a moment of silence. To the friends and the family of those who are deceased, I am very sorry. To those who are injured, may you make a speedy recovery. Stay strong, everybody. Let's aim to unify more than set ourselves apart. That is all that I have to say.